Hi there, my name is Stuart, and today I'm going to walk you through this app I've been working on called SampleStack. I started this because I do a lot of modular music, and in that world, you've got a lot of sample libraries that have very different file formats, different folder structures, all sorts of little things that are difficult to remember. And so I wanted to have an app that could really simply sort of manage the transcoding of different formats and just help you get those sample collections up and running quickly so that you have more time making music, not reading manuals. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of what we've got here. So up at the top left, we can scroll through our sample library. You import this from a directory on your desktop. It can be any folder, anywhere. And within that, you have a bunch of samples. So here we have some samples from the MK1 collection here, and we can play them. Sounds good. This is in loop mode, but we can also make it in one shot. And over here on the right, we have some details about the file. So some tags we can add in to categorize them however we wish, ratings, source, whatever else we need. Down here, we get some properties of the file, and then below that, some automatic analysis. This happens when you initially scan files into your library. It'll detect the peak level of the file as well as the initial pitch. And you'll see some tags up here: valid, needs conversion, invalid. This is more helpful when we get into the collections that we'll talk about in a moment, where we can sort of see which files are appropriate for which devices. But before we do that, let's look at a few more things here in the editor. So here on this little timeline, I can do a couple things. I can zoom in. We can get a pretty detailed view of what we've got here. So this one goes down to about 5 milliseconds. Here, 1 millisecond. And there's a bunch of editing functions. So this one, if we listen to it, it's got a little bit of a tail there. And imagine we didn't want that. We can select a region and go to our edit menu here. I right-clicked, but you can get the same thing by clicking edit over here. And we have some options here. So we can do a fade out. This would get us down to 0 through either linear or logarithmic curve. I can cut that selection. That would just be removing the end of this file. Let's do that here, see what happens. So I've done that. Now it's a bit shorter. There it is. And I can also discard those changes if I don't want to keep them. Yeah, a couple of other things here in the menu. So we can do a split, for example. So imagine we had a library. Let's find one here. Here's a loop that has a couple of different tracks in there. I can select one of those and I can do a new sample via cut. And so this way I could take different portions of a loop and move them into individual samples. And a few other things here. I can do splice at playhead. So here I'm adding a cue to this file. This is really helpful for a couple of different things. We can see that down here. So let's add a cue here, a cue here. Now I can select one of those slices and I can just play back that piece. It's a little short. I can loop it. This is helpful because I hear there's a little bit of a pickup here at the other end. So let's move this in and I'll select it again. I'll hear if that cleaned it up. Not quite, but anyway, we don't have to worry about that now. So these are attached to the file itself, and so they'll be available to modules that can consume that. So anyway, that's a basic overview of editing and managing stuff in your library, but where you have a lot of fun is down here. And so these are your collections, and a collection is, there's a bunch of pre-built modules that it supports, so let's take a look at some of those. We can create a new collection here and see what are available. So we've got Multigrain, Morphagene, Squid, Erica, a bunch of other ones. You can also define your own custom module types if you like, to determine the file structure, the file format requirements, folder structure, and things like that. So we could create a new one, and what this is going to do, let's create one here for Multigrain. Let's just create 12 folders here. And so I'll choose a location here. And now it shows up down here. So what it's done is it's created essentially all the project folders that are required for that. So Multigrain puts all of its projects in a directory in the root and gives it a certain name. And what we can do is we can take some sounds here. So let's take a couple of those MKI drops in here. Let's take this snare. We'll bring it into project 1. And now we get this view. This is telling us that, giving us some options about converting it. So we can convert incompatible samples. This means that it'll turn it into the format that Multigrain expects. We can truncate them if we want to. Multigrain officially supports 30 seconds, but longer files do play. And so you don't have to truncate them if you don't want to. So we'll copy that one in. Hit done, and now we've got our file right here ready to go into Multigrain. So this collection is just a folder on the desktop. We can drag the contents into an SD card at any time we want. One other cool thing it does is it will auto-detect an existing library. So let's add a collection here, and I'm going to go choose my Morphagene library here. So here it gives us this nice Morphagene icon, and it determined that it was Morphagene based upon looking at the contents. And what it used in this case is the file names and the structure. So Morphagene is super simple. It's files called MG1 through MGZ, I think, in the root folder. And we can see that most of these are good. So here's some. We can see that the splice points are there. These are what you added as a splice point within Morphagene, and they will play back. They use the same queue system, so we can listen to this guy. And we see that some of them are red because they're invalid. So these ones will be a problem for Morphagene. We can see exactly why over here, which is that the naming convention doesn't work. And so if for whatever reason we want to get rid of that, I could just simply remove that file. I'll hit delete. And it's gone from the desktop as well. So that's a super quick overview. Hope you liked this, and definitely download the app today. Hit me up with any questions, and I'm happy to share more. Thanks so much.